So here we are again.
Second round.
Second round.
Yes, but now, well, pretty much right now we are everywhere else, and with sound and with video. So everything that we deserve. So
yeah, it was just around like in the Formula One. So we had a test for the for see if the engines were right. So
yeah, exactly that. So it was a test drive that we did for this partnership. But well, I'm really sorry for this. I'm sorry to all the participants. Right now, we are sharing with at Hopin and at the summit what we have, so the link to the conference, and I sincerely hope that in the next two conferences that we don't have this. And well, this all comes down to being able and being the platforms also being in a continuous development state. That said, so the platforms themselves, the conferencing, and well, all new things that we need to cope with.
Okay.
Thank you very much for this. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Fatima, for being here. My name is Luis Martins. I am the co-president of the VRARA Association in Portugal. And we're here to talk about the partnership that the Portuguese chapter of the VRAR Association did and is right now establishing with APDC, which is the Portuguese Association for the development of telecommunications. So in that sense, Sandra, that is somewhere here, she is the executive secretary of APDC, and also with us, and for quite some time now, Fatima Caçador from TechSap, which has been our chapter's media partner for quite some time, and that has been helping us push forward the ecosystem also for a long time. Thank you very much, Fatima, for keeping for linking us with the market, and also to let the market know what is being developed in this area, because it's as it's growing so fast and as there is so much good talent in here, it's really cool that TechSap can make that available to people and be a channel to pass on what's happening in these areas. But before passing the word to you, so you can do all the questions you want, I'm going to pass on to Sandra to pretty much tell us a bit about APDC and why does this make sense. So why connect with the VRAR Association?
Thank you very much. And as I mentioned before, but I will repeat it again, I have a little confession to make that it's quite difficult for me to say VRARA, the VRA. So the meaning, it's really difficult for me. I've been testing, but it's quite difficult still. But thank you for the presence of all the online participants, and also for the opportunity to talk about this partnership between APDC and the Portuguese chapter of VRAR. Good. So as some of you may not know, APDC is a 35-year Portuguese association, and it was initially created to assist in the development of telecommunications in Portugal. Over the years, we have been following the development of the sector of telecommunications in Portugal, as well as the expansion of its activity. Today, APDC is the Digital Business Community Association, bringing together technology, media, and telecommunications companies. But as the company and also the society are becoming more and more digital, and that every company is a tech company, we have also been expanding the type of companies that are now our associates. So today we bring together the law firms, insurance companies, consulting companies, energy, etc. We already had like 3 sections inside APDC that were created in the recent years within our scope of APDC. The Portuguese outsourcing, the Portugal outsourcing section, the smart cities section, and the digital entrepreneurship section. And now we have this new section for the virtual and augmented reality. And so, in short, this is a partnership that pleased us very much. And it becomes from the efforts of Luis and the team during all the job that they have been doing since the creation of the Portuguese chapter in 2006 and 17. And as the Portuguese chapter didn't have a legal form, we were really pleased to be challenged to create this section in the context of APDC.
Say hi, Luis. How are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
By yourself, right? Waiting for people to join and have a conversation. You're based in Portugal, I suppose, right?
I am. Okay, so here you are. Okay, I was trying to find where exactly you were.
You had a tab open, right?
Yes, I actually did. So let me then just, let me just.
Aware that you're in here on the tape, but you can always leave and then you leave this.
Okay. Wow.
Quite interactive.
Yes, really.
Yeah, so this was really cool. Yeah.
Was it a participant from the Global Summit?
I actually don't. I think it was from the tech team.
Oh, okay.
Was helping me to disconnect it. So yeah, still. Anyway, just to follow up on exactly what you said. Actually, it's kind of a good match in the sense that when we started this, the association, our main focus was to create bridges between the Portuguese ecosystem, because we're a second-tier country. We need bridges to first-tier countries, to bigger economies, to bigger markets, for markets that have hiring capacity, that have investment capacity that we lack. So in that sense, we started the chapter in order to leverage the talent, leverage the research muscle that we have, and then get that in touch with these opportunities abroad. But as you said, as we didn't have, and we still don't have, any kind of institutional presence here, even for the very much logistical motifs, logistical reasons, we were kind of hindered. So we weren't very able to take care of small things, like, for instance, send an invoice. So whenever we needed an invoice, we would need to ask global. So it's actually very much easier. And at the same time, I think that through this partnership, we will also be able to leverage the communication with larger corporations that also operate in Portugal. And at the same time, some of them are also members or sponsors of the VRARA association at a global level. So that is also a great opportunity that I'm seeing for us to leverage and to make happen in the coming days. But in the coming days, in years. So that's it. I think that we pretty much created an overall picture of what the partnership is. And now passing on the word to Fatima. Fatima, again, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you so very much. It's a pleasure to be here. As you've mentioned, I am the founder and editor-in-chief of Casa dos Bichos and SapoTek. SapoTek is one of the main websites in Portugal on technology. This year we are celebrating 20 years online, so I have this huge thing to remember me and everyone. So it's a huge achievement online to have a website on technology for 20 years, and we are very proud of it. Of course, we can only do it also because we have so many new information and very interesting things happening in Portugal. And some of them come from APDC that I follow the activities for since as long as I remember, more than 20 years. I'm not from the beginning, really beginning, 35 years. Really, I was still in in kindergarten. It's not true, but we can say it. And also, I've been following VRARA Portugal since the very beginning. We've also been media partners of some of the events, and it's a pleasure to be here with both of you. And congratulations for this partnership. I think it will be important. And as a journalist, I also want to really know everything and understand how it will evolve. How do you think you can create bridges? How will it materialize inside APDC, this new chapter? And especially Sandra, because as you've mentioned, APDC is much more now than just telecom. It has evolved to aggregate organizations from IT, media, outsourcing and other areas. How do you think that VRAR will combine with the strategy that APDC is following and bring value to the ecosystem of augmented reality and virtual reality that really needs to create those bridges with other companies?
Yes, thank you, Fatima. Well, we saw this partnership as an opportunity to join forces and to promote also the strength of associativism, the digital associativism in Portugal. As I'm not sure if I mentioned now or before, we think that it's better, instead of creating a new association with all the efforts that needs to be made, that we can join forces and work better, be stronger and work better together. We also have been, for example, in the last year annual Congress that APDC organizes, we have already invited Luis and part of the team of VRAR to be present and to share with the participants of the Congress some of the works that have been done with the several companies that are operating in Portugal in the virtual and augmented reality. We think that this Portuguese chapter is the proof of the growing market and the growing interest that the augmented and virtual reality has had in Portugal in the recent years. As Luis can explain you, but I remember in our first meeting, when he told me that in 2017, and they made like the first study to know how many companies they had in Portugal. And every year they have registered a huge increase in the number of companies that are operating. And some of that companies at the international, some of that companies are also our associates, but are not developing research and projects in Portugal, but at international level. And we think that many of these multinational companies that are already our associates, they recognize the value of having the Portuguese chapter inside APDC and in this form of combining forces and in developing the projects. And just another thing that I would like to mention is something that I just remember in recent months, since we have been in lockdown at home. We have more and more companies developing this business area dedicated to augmented and virtual reality. The lockdown of our companies and also of our societies has given us the new impetus to these technologies, which in a very particular way can help us to recreate some spaces and the live emotions that we have in real environments, and that the contact with the other people. And now for some time now, we won't have due to the COVID pandemic. So I'm really sure, and I've been participating in some other debates related to the future of other sectors, of tourism, of manufacturing, and we can see the huge impact that this reality will have in several of these sectors.
Yeah, we should. Do you want to comment also? And if you can you update the number of companies that are now involved in VRAR in Portugal?
Well, it's actually part of the new edition of the report that we will be launching, hopefully during the third quarter, so till September. We will have a new edition of our ecosystem report. Right now, I can tell you that we have listed almost 100 organizations that either develop exclusively VR/AR solutions from Portugal to, well, pretty much anywhere else, or to the Portuguese market. Also, we included structures that have more than 50% of their activity committed to this market, to immersive technologies. Or bigger companies, like, for instance, Siemens. I know that Miguel is actually seeing this, and he's actually going to go into the next panel.
Yes,
Paulo is, yeah, exactly. So he is responsible for a team that is developing it's called the XR initiative, and they're pretty much doing VR and AR solutions globally to the Siemens group of companies. So, and that is being done from Portugal. So due to that, so companies like those are also included in the report. But just with these three, so these three kinds of companies amount to almost 100 in number, which is very, very impactful for the size of our country. So yeah, I believe that probably until September we will have even more. For instance, I was approached during this morning by yet another company that I don't know, so yeah. And that already exists. It's called Load, and Fons reached out to me, and we're going to talk. I think the beginning of next week. So this to say that it's always I think it's growing, and that's actually one of the cool things about this ecosystem or about this market, is that it's not just growing continuously and organically. So there is no state fund or no EU program to try and leverage this growth. It's something that is being done by entrepreneurs that have ideas that are inspired by the technology. But at the same time, all people are really, really available.
Yes.
So that's really, really different. So the way that right now, for instance, just before coming here, I was discussing on Twitter with someone a topic, and that someone was someone that I read 2 weeks ago. I read her book. So it's like this. It's very direct, and I also think that is a cultural trend that is connected with this technology, because this technology makes us dream, makes us kind of project ourselves in the future. And it's not just about sci-fi and all the movies that we've seen and popular culture. I think that it really makes us try and recreate ourselves in the future. So that, I think, is going to be it will be for sure something. Actually, during the talk this morning, I approached that. It is going to change the way that we behave. It is going to change the way that we are humans. I do believe that. That said, for companies and for organizations, especially for the one that actually hires me, this is going to have an impact, of course, and especially, I guess, this partnership with APDC makes even more sense at a time where 5G is going to come up. And 5G is going to, along with edge computing, are going to have a really big impact on augmented reality and virtual reality, since they will enable things that until now were not that visible. Like, for instance, pointing your phone to places and then seeing, like, pointing your phone to a Roman ruin, like, for instance, Conímbriga, which, for those that don't know it, it's like one really big, well, not so big, but still, it's big, Roman site, ruin site in the middle of Portugal. We all talked about, and we actually all have that well in mind, because we all visited it while in school. But just having the ability to just point there our smartphone or even smart glasses and see how it was, have even the Roman citizens going across and using the bots and using the auditorium and the forum, that is impactful and changes how we learn, changes how we interact with heritage, how we value those stones, and also how we understand how people really lived and how other people actually used that place before us. So I think it has this huge possibility of making us get more and reach out more, well, get more in touch with our history, our culture. Well, it's going to be huge. I've talked a lot, right?
Please, it's always a pleasure to see how enthusiastic you are about it. I'm also enthusiastic, and really I think that it will be a very big change. I don't know if in the way we are human, because we will still need touch and presence, but especially about the way we learn, because what you said, for a kid, I visited when I was in school in Conímbriga and other historical places, but for a kid that is nowadays so much used to have everything in the touch of the hand, and everything is multimedia and everything is video and sound, it is difficult to look at some stones and think what was there. And with virtual reality, really, we can, or augmented reality, we can bring it to the new generation, that it will make a big change in the education. And now for this chapter, again, can we expect to see new events? What can we expect on the annual Congress? I don't know, Sandra, Luís?
Let me just start, and then Luís will speak more about the events and the activities that they already have planned. And the aim now is to integrate the activities that have been planned by the chapter in the APDC plan of activities also. But just to comment, last year when we were organizing the Congress, I spoke with Luís like 2-3 months earlier, and asked him if he could suggest some use cases of augmented and virtual reality in the sectors that were being analyzed in the Congress. And it was so curious, because I was expecting that Luís could give me like 1 or 2 use cases, but he gave me lots of use cases for all sectors of activity that we were discussing. So this reflects the enthusiasm, but also the extension of the work that we already have in Portugal with our companies and worldwide. So we have lots of examples that are the proof. This is the technology that, as Luís said, the 5G and the edge computing will potentiate more. So we decided before the pandemic, we decided that we would like to organize our Congress in a different date. So we would like to organize the Congress in the beginning of the year. So we decided in January that we would not organize the Congress this year. That will be our 30th Congress, so it's a huge anniversary, and we are postponing it to April 2021. And we are now, and I've been discussing with Luís also, we are now studying digital solutions to have a hybrid event. I don't know if you can say hybrid in English, but I think so. So we would like to have an event that can show us some kind of virtual reality. But we are still discussing and working together to see what kind of solutions can we bring to life. Luis,
Right.
it's up to you.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So regarding the events, right now we have the opportunity to add virtual reality and to add online events. So overall, although right now, of course, it's a learning curve that we are all having, trying to get the best practices for online events. The issue is that at this point, I think all of us have the notion that this is not going to go away. So we are right now, we had the biggest remote work experience in history.
This year, yeah.
And it worked. So it's first, it's really weird because it worked without any kind of preparation. So we were just thrown out in there
And do it.
to our homes, right? It just, yeah, now do this or else you will your company will suffer, and pretty much everyone else will. So yeah, we had to. And the cool thing is that it worked. So right now we are comfortable with it. And so, yeah, chiefs are and pretty much directors and executives are happy with them, with the work being done. Workers are also getting on board and saying, yes, this makes sense. Although, of course, there are issues regarding work home balance. For instance, I'm really, it's really weird because today it's like the third day that my kid went to school. So I was, every single conference that I had, he had to appear, he had to come here, he had to say hi, which was really cool. But again, no one actually really cared because it was part of what we did. So that was also, I think, a good symptom that everyone accepted remote work so well. So that is going to happen. And same thing with remote events. So we will be doing what we're doing right now for a long, long time, I guess. And that's why hybrid events make a lot of sense.
Right.
Also to integrate like international people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're also going to keep up doing our monthly meetups, both online and also on venue. So we have Lispolis, which has been our partner for quite some time on the meetups. And then besides that, we are going also to have, well, pretty much we're going to have some training also happening alongside some webinars also that we are going to kick off with some partners, and those are going to happen throughout the year. So from those, or for those, you also have some more, some more information, I hope, during this month with, well, at least the first schedule of what's happening. But overall, that's it.
Right. We are running out of time because there's a session coming in 10 minutes from now. Yeah. So I'll just ask one more question because I think that there are many people who are interested in that. How can other companies join VRARA Portugal and APDC now that you are marrying or something like that, joining?
Yes, we are marrying with special conditions.
Special conditions, good.
So we just made a partnership with the VRARA in the sense that all the associates from APDC that wish to join the Portuguese chapter have a special fee that Luis will speak about it.
No, it's very simple. So it makes sense so you can still be just a member of the VRAR association. You can just be a member of the APDC. But if you are a member of both, then you get a discount. So that's the cool thing. And besides that, you can also benefit from, well, a series of synergies that make a lot of sense, again, because what we're doing locally with APDC and internationally with the VRAR Association on virtual reality and augmented reality is pretty much the same. So overall, it really makes a lot of sense, and that's why we are also trying to make this connection. And again, I didn't share this yet with Sandra, so it's the first one. But actually, just yeah, I just remember
Fatima is looking.
during lunchtime, I actually had a first company, which I don't think is a member of APDC, approaching me and asking about, so what are we going to talk about? So it's an IT development company. So I will be sharing with you afterwards the details. Yes. But yeah.
We also had yesterday our general meeting, the assembly. I don't know if you are saying in English, the General Assembly of our associates. Yeah. And I also spoke about this partnership and the creation of this section. And some of people asked me also what were the conditions and how they could join. So we really are testifying the joint interest of the companies that are in APDC in this kind of team.
So and as I am here, I will have firsthand on every news that you have. So Great. Thank you so much. I don't know if you, for me, it's all the questions. Of course, we could be chatting a little bit more, but as we
actually need to, we need to be off.
Yeah.
So in 10 minutes, we will have a panel discussing how to grow the VRAR ecosystem. So Fatima is going to join us again, along with Miguel Paulo from Siemens, João Ricardo Moreira from NOS. Big up to NOS that sponsored the VRAR Global Summit and has proven for, quite some time to be a great partner. And besides that, they're also APDC members, of course. So, and besides that, besides them, we also have Tiago Loureiro, of course, the other co-president of the VRAR Association. So come and join us. And I'm sure that it's going to be really, really fun. But that's also the reason why we need to say goodbye. So.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye-bye.